Alright, so a demonstration in scaling and scale. So in my driveway, I've sketched out some sizes of orbits for planets. And so this blue and white bouncy ball right here represents the sun, has a diameter of about 14 inches. And so sitting right here, I have a couple push pins, pink and blue. Pink and blue, those spheres there, each of those are kind of at the end. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Each of those represents the diameter. Pink one represents Venus, blue represents Earth. So 14 inches for the sun, 1/8 of an inch for Earth, 1/8 of an inch for Venus, and then this tiny smaller one there, which is a 1/16 of an inch, that represents Mars. So these are to scale for kind of comparing their size. So like we want to look and compare size of the Earth with the size of the sun. You can see how tiny it is, which we already knew. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to step out, and on the driveway, kind of going down the driveway, you can see I'm going to step out distances to some of the planets. So walking down the driveway, first one here we see mark for Mercury. Going further down the driveway, we now have Venus. So here we are about 90 feet away on the driveway. And so again, you've got Venus, tiny dot here. The sun, which was 14 inches, is that far away. And so I'm going to put Venus kind of right there as a placeholder. And let's keep going out to Earth. So Earth, all the way down, almost a little over 120 feet away. So now we are down here, and so you can see where the sun is, the distance from the sun, and comparing that to the size of the Earth. And so you think about it. So here we are on the Earth at 1/8 of an inch, and there off in the distance, that tiny dot, that 14-inch ball, that is the sun. And so next thing that I just want to show really quick, just for perspective, so if we have the Earth right here and we're sitting all this distance from the sun, the distance between the Earth and the moon, so you look on there and you see, so if this tiny dot right here represents the Earth, this 1/8 of an inch, that dot right there is the distance to the moon. And so what you can see there, a pretty good distance from the Earth to the moon. And even that dot is actually twice the size of the moon. The moon would even be half of that. I just don't have anything that small. So here we are at the Earth. So we'll leave that there. And then last thing, going to take this last planet, which is Mars. Mars takes us almost all the way down to the road. And so here we are. Tiny dot representing Mars. There, way off at the top of the driveway, represents the sun. So about 185 feet on my driveway from the sun to scale. So it kind of gives you an idea for how big, how empty the solar system is. And you think about it, imagine that blue ball up at the top, which is the sun, being able to put out enough light, enough heat in order to heat up, in this case, Mars. Mars doesn't get quite as hot, but the hottest day on Mars might be kind of like today, about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. But that it presents enough light to warm and heat Mars to some degrees. And this is just Mars. So if we were to sketch out, try and map out Pluto, well, Pluto would be like another mile in that direction. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune further down the road there. I'm not even sure. I'd have to try and figure out how far those go. But again, just for scale in the driveway in terms of the size of planets. So in this case, we've got Mars, and being that far from the sun. Then we can walk in a little bit closer, kind of warm things up. So now we're in here. Again, back in here to Earth, our tiny little itty bitty blue dot, that far from the sun.